All right, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry that I wasn't able to be in class today. I got pulled for some stuff at work, so I'm not sure I'm gonna be in the classroom, but I'm not sure if what time were these presentations. So I decided to make a video. So for our case analysis, for my case analysis assignment, I chose to follow the IRAC framework to analyze Plyer versus Department of Education. In my analysis, I identified the issue, key facts, cite the legal rule, provide an analysis of the case, and then develop my own conclusion. I chose this case because, as you all know, my active research and dissertation is to provide mental health services to undocumented students due to the stress and trauma students experience being undocumented and living in the United States. So the issue with this case, as we all know, the 14th Amendment forbids states from refusing equal protection of the law to any person within the jurisdiction. The equal protection provision stipulates that the law must treat all people equally. So do individuals who are not citizens or enter the United States illegally get equal treatment under the Equal Protection Clause? As we all know, no, and it still continues to be a challenge. So in 1975, school districts in Texas were given the authority to refuse admission or charge a $1,000 fee to students who had not been lawfully admitted to the country. So Smith County's Tyler Independent School District went with option 2. They were actually charging students that were not legal in the United States. So a class action complaint was filed in 1977 and again in 1980. So Plyer versus Department of Education was brought in 1982 due to the government changes to provide educational service to immigrant children, which they were being required monetary contribution of $1,000 to cover the shortfall left by the loss of state aid. Legal or illegal, immigrants are all protected by the Constitution provision of the 14th Amendment. This case established the principle that government cannot legally refuse children access to a public education because of their immigration status when it was decided in 1982. In the Plyer versus Department of Education, the Supreme Court ruled in 1982 in favor of a group of illegal immigrant children who had been denied free public education in Texas. So the legal rule. Foreign-born children who were not lawfully admitted into the United States could not enroll in schools in Texas until 1975, when the state law allowed local school districts to do so. In Tyler Independent School District, foreign-born pupils who were not lawfully accepted had to pay a tuition for 2 years. The regulation was soon then challenged by the court by a group of Mexican students who couldn't prove that they were lawfully admitted. After making detailed factual findings, the district court ruled the program was unconstitutional by federal immigration law. The imposition of restrictions to deny access to education opportunities to immigrants' children was nothing less than outright prejudice. So as we all know, that children have little to say when their parents are migrating over here, or what their decision in regards to them wanting to move to the United States. So why do students have to be at fault and not be given an education? So within the application of this case, overall, it is in the best interest that the court may use the need to provide the minor with the appropriate education as a foundation of its case, which is critically in raising literacy rates. Depriving immigrant juveniles or education opportunities will only lead to increased unemployment, crime, and a decline in social services and the negative impact of adolescent illiteracy. During these 3 decades following the Plyer judgment, many legislatures and unofficial policies had been enacted by states and municipalities. For example, in 1984 with Proposition 187, in Illinois back in 2006, students that had entered the nation on a tourist visa and overstayed were being refused admission to schools. The state of Illinois Board of Education threatened to withdraw funds. The district finally allowed the child to enroll. And in 2011, legislative sessions were in Alabama, public schools were required to have their immigration status determined by school officials, and a yearly report was required of them. So Plyer had been invaded through a combination of official and unofficial methods used by local school systems. So, overall, in conclusion, many issues need urgent attention in order to safeguard children's rights in the United States, including the 1982 case, Plyler versus Department of Education. The court may use a variety of factors to reach a fair decision in the instance mentioned above, and enforcing the equal protection provisions for legal immigrants, preventing discrimination, allowing minors to have no say in migration, and a rise of unemployment rates. So, so that was my case analysis, and thank you very much.